What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol FULC for Fulcrum Therapeutics. On the left-hand side, we do have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First thing I need to point out is that we did have an earnings announcement before the bell. It led to a nice run-up on today's session, but left back in our wake a massive gap up. So mapping out those areas, 1207 underneath that fills down towards $8.60. Not saying we have to fill that. As a matter of fact, based on the candle close today, I would argue it's relatively strong. But the last thing I need to make you aware of is that they did have positive results from a clinical trial, and then they said, we're going to sell some shares because of that. So all things considered, two pieces of conflicting catalysts. One's bullish, one's bearish, obviously. What are we going to do? We're just going to focus on the price action. We just need to know those things are kind of happening in the back of our minds. So from the daily perspective, I'm also noticing this area here is obvious prior resistance. Let's see if it lines up with anything from an intraday perspective, simply because there's not a whole lot happening here which we need to focus on, and I would argue not really. So maybe just keep in the back of your mind 1476, but for now what we really want to do is break out our Fibonacci's and go from low of the move to the high of the move and just see where we're at in terms of healthy pullback. And for now, we never really violated the 38.2 in a major way. You can see that we closed the day back up and above that area 1821. So any consolidation that forms up here strikes me as bullish. You're looking for the long over 22, in which case what do we have for targets up above? If we scrunch this chart up, not a whole lot. Let me see if we can load some more data here and get something on the screen. Let's go with 3 years and sure, right? So we kind of topped out right at a known area of resistance around 22, doing something like that. The all-time high looks like it's at 22.96, so not extremely helpful in terms of upside targets. So what we can do is just go ahead and do this with our Fibonacci extension, low up to high, pull back low in here and see where that brings us. And what we have, generally we look at the 61.8 extension, 23.65, and then after that the 100% extension up at 27.45 as the next major target. So keep those in mind as potential moves if we really get going to the upside. Obviously we do have to have a couple of key things happen first. As discussed, we do need to consolidate in this range, and then we need to see a breakout on big volume happening over 22 the whole dollar before any of those numbers are even considered. To the downside, what we want to see hold as support is obviously that 38.2. Let me fix this up here. But more importantly, I would argue it's just that area in there. Let me actually clean that up. So sorry for the misclicks. Grab the right tool, and this is the area of support we want to see hold at 1750. We'll call it for nice round number sake. Underneath that, I would imagine as volume starts to dwindle, if it starts to dwindle, which I would imagine coincide with one another as we start to move lower, less people are interested, start to see something like this, it's probably likely that we come back down into our 1476 mark that we noted from these highs here. Then after that, the low of today's session at $12. So that's the bear case, but as the chart currently sits closing above the 38.2, does put into play the more bullish perspective of the two. So that being said, if you enjoyed today's video or learned anything new, let me know down below in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked down below in the description, and we wish you all a green trading week.